Hello everyone, welcome back. This is a new lecture in your course, Mastering Ansible by Aryonics. My name is Ahmed, and in this section we are discussing playbooks in Ansible. In this section so far we are installing different components of our LAMP stack and configuring our LAMP stack environment. We have already installed Apache and MariaDB and configured MariaDB in the previous section of this course. In this section we have successfully installed different packages of the PHP language, PHP 7. We have also downloaded the CodeIgniter PHP framework and we have uploaded its files to the desired location on the remote machine, which is /var/www/html. And we have also ensured that the rewrite module of Apache is enabled. At the end of last lecture, we have stopped at the need to notify Apache that changes were made to one of its configuration files and that it needs to be restarted. Let's see how we can do that using Ansible. Now, if we have a look at our LAMP file, so far we have nothing that ensures that Apache is restarted. I mean, we can of course add a service here like this, name ensure that Apache is started or restarted, and I can add here a service like this, name equals httpd state equals started, or I can add here restarted. But the problem here is that this is going to be executed at this part of the playbook. I mean, whenever the playbook starts executing, it is going to ensure that Apache is started. It's going to start it if it is not, or it's going to restart it just at the start of the playbook. I need this to be executed when this line in file is changed, and only when this line in file is changed. So if I added this instead to the end of the file, right after line in file like this, this will not give me the required result, because this will always get executed whether or not line in file did some changes to the configuration file. So the answer or the solution for this problem is that I need something to get notified that a change has happened somewhere in the playbook, and that this change triggers an action. And this action might be starting or stopping or restarting a service or any other action that can be made using an Ansible playbook. So let's delete that and let's get introduced to Ansible handlers. A handler is nothing more than a set of tasks, can be added here like this, handlers. And you can add here whatever tasks you need. For example, name, restart Apache. This is the name of a task that is going to be placed in the handler. And I can add service, name is httpd, state x is restarted. However, this handler will not get executed unless it is notified that it needs to be executed, unless that it is triggered to execute, and that can be done easily anywhere in the playbook by using the notify module. So I can add here add line in file, I can add at the end notify, and then I can add any number of notifiers. I just have one here, which is restart Apache. I am adding here the name of the task or the name of the handler, restart Apache. So whenever any changes are made to this line, Apache is going to be restarted. So let's test that. Ansible playbook lamp.yml. Okay, and this needs to have an indentation level the same as the task. I am adding it here as a parameter to line in file, which is not true. This is not a parameter. This needs to be just right under name. And this is one of the intimidating things of YML files, is that indentation is very, very important, and you can easily make mistakes by just having an extra space or an extra indentation that is not in place. Okay, now let's run again Ansible playbook lamp.yml. Okay, and as you can see here, nothing has changed. This is because line in file did not change anything in the configuration file. But if we have a look at 192.168.33.20, which is our web server, and let's try to delete this rewrite module, exit, run Ansible again, and observe what happens. Okay, this time rewrite module has been enabled on Apache, the line has been added, and also Apache has been restarted. That is because line in file got triggered. Now if I have a look, I'm gonna see that I have the load module added, and also Apache has been restarted again. Now let's clear the screen, and if we have a look at our lamp.yml file, you're gonna see that this file has an order, and we have specified this order. We have specified that the first task is gonna be installing PHP, then ensuring that rsync is installed, then uploading CodeIgniter files, then changing the configuration file of Apache, and so on and so forth. Ansible executes those in order from up to down, top to bottom, as you can see here. But sometimes you may need a task to be executed always before anything else gets executed on the playbook. And you may want another task to be executed always at the end of the playbook. This is where pre-tasks and post-tasks parameters come in place. Pre-tasks is going to execute whatever tasks you need. Those tasks are going to be executed right before the playbook is executed, and post-tasks is the opposite. It's going to be executed right when the playbook has finished executing. So let's say, for example, that I want to ensure that a specific user has been placed or has been created on the web server, and this user is going to own all the CodeIgniter files. I need to ensure that this happens before anything else gets executed. I need to ensure that this user is there before anything else gets executed or anything else gets done on the server. So I can add here pre-tasks and then add my task just as I add any task. Name, create a developers group. Need to add a group and then add a user that's going to be a member of this group. So this is the name, create a developers group. I'm going to use the group module as usual. Let's say the name is developers. Of course I can add a GID, but this is not required in this lab. State is present. I can add a second task. Of course I have to precede the task with a dash like this and ident the rest of the items. Now I'll have to create application user or an application user. I will use the user module and I have the name of CIDev. I can add a comment for whoever is looking at this user. This is the CodeIgniter user, and of course the state is present. Okay, now let's exit and let's run Ansible playbook. Okay, and we have a syntax error. Again, you have to be very careful when you ident your text. This has to be correctly idented. Okay, now as you can see here, it has created an application user and an application group. Apparently the developers group has been already created, and actually we forgot to add the user to the group, so we need to do this right now. Ensure that it is a member of the developers group. Let's run it again. And the user has been created and it is a member of the developers group. If you want to double check, let's have a look. It's a good thing to check when you are testing your Ansible playbooks before deploying them to production. If I have a look at CIDev, I'm gonna see that I have a CIDev user who is member of developers group. Okay, that's nice. And notice here that this task always gets executed before any task else is in. So here we have create a developer group, then create an application user, which are the pre-tasks, then install PHP. No matter where you place this in your playbook, as long as it is placed under the pre-tasks section. Now let's clear the screen and have a look again at lamp.yml. And now observe, I'm going to place a post-tasks section here, like this. And I am going to ensure that the CIDev user with the developers group is owning to all the CodeIgniter files. So I'm gonna say that this task is change the ownership of CodeIgniter files to be owned by CIDev and developers group. In order to do that, I can use the file module. We have discussed the file module before. give it the path. The path is var www.html, anything that is under HTML, and I want the owner to be CI dev. I want the group to be developers, and I need the state to be directory, and that is mandatory if you want to do this operation recursively on all the files and directories in the path. I have to state explicitly that this is a directory in order to be able to use the recurse parameter, which makes this operation recursive. I am gonna say recurse is true or is yes. Okay, and now let's exit. And notice here how I have placed post tasks after pre-tasks, not at the end of a playbook. However, if I run playbook now, you're gonna see that it's gonna get executed at the very end of the playbook. As you can see here, changing ownership of CodeIgniter files to be owned by CI dev and developers group has been executed last, although it has been placed near the top of the playbook. If you want to make sure, let's go to the web server and let's ls var www html. You're gonna see that I have CI dev of group developers owning all the files and directories of CodeIgniter. Okay, that's nice. And that brings us to the end of this lecture. In the coming lecture, we are gonna start configuring CodeIgniter to talk or to communicate with the database that we have already configured in last section. So, see you next.